This lesson will be over how to divide fractions. So you have 4/5. Note it right here. You need to divide it into two groups. So the answer is how many? What is the answer? 2/5. If you have 4/5 and you divide it to two groups, each group will have 2/5. How could I have gotten that answer without using pictorial model? In a previous lesson, we talked about how you keep the number and you multiply by its reciprocal. So change that division to a multiply. And what's the reciprocal of 2? 1 over 2. So if you multiply the numerators, you get 4, and then multiply the denominators, you get 10, 4/10. That simplifies to 2/5. Let's look at our next example. We have 9/10. It says divide it into three groups. So here's one group. Here's another group. So I divide it into three groups. So what fraction is in each group? 3/10. What if you do not prefer the concrete model? You prefer to use mathematics. So you keep the 9/10. We multiply by its reciprocal. So multiply, what's the reciprocal of 3? 1/3. So if you multiply the numerators, you get 9. If you multiply the denominators, you get 30. Can I simplify this? I divide both numbers by 3, and I get 3/10. So that's how you do it. So if you're given a fraction and you have to divide it, you multiply by its reciprocal. Let's try another example. Here is 1/2. I need you to divide it into fourths. Or another way to say is, how many fourths go into 1/2? If I divide this into fourths, how many fourths go into 1/2? Two groups. So the answer is 2. How many groups of 1/4 can build 1/2? Two groups. What if you do not prefer using the concrete model? So we keep the 1/2. We multiply by its reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 1/4? 4/1. So we multiply this. Multiply the numerators, you get 4. Multiply the denominators, you get 2. And 4/2 is equal to 2. Da-da. Let's look at another example. We have 1/3. They want you to divide it into twelfths. So how many twelfths, or 1/12, can build 1/3? So I see, so far, 4 groups of 1/12 can build into 1/3. So the answer is 4. What again if you do not prefer the pictorial model? So I keep the 1/3. I multiply by its reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 1/12? 12/1. If you multiply this, you get 12/3. And what's another way to say 12/3? 4 whole. So in our last example, you have half of a pizza and you want to share it equally between two people. How much of the pizza does each person get? So you have half a pizza, you're dividing into two parts. That's the division expression. I want you to rewrite this as an equivalent multiplication expression. So we start with 1/2. I need to multiply by its reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 2? Again, how do you rewrite 2 in fraction form? 2/1. So the reciprocal must be 1/2. So half times half is 1/4. So you have half of a pizza and you're dividing it among two people. So in other words, they're all getting half of the half, or 1/4. A baker is making cakes for a big party. She uses 1/4 cup of oil for each cake. How many cakes can she make if she has a bottle of oil that has 6 cups? So she starts with 6 cups. They want to know how many cups of how many 1/4 go into here. That's like repeated subtraction, which is just an example of division. So 6 divided by 1/4. How many groups of 1/4 can build into 6? I want to rewrite this as an equivalent multiplication expression. So I keep 6, I multiply by its reciprocal, and the answer is 24. So again, how do you divide fractions? You keep the first number and then you multiply by its reciprocal.